The Egyptian desert stretches endlessly beneath the dark sky. The wind moves across ancient stone blocks that have stood there for thousands of years. In the middle of that silence, the pyramids still remain like guardians of time. But few people know that beneath the massive layers of sand and stone, there are doors that were sealed for more than 3 millennia. They were not created only to protect gold or treasure. They were built to prevent humans from touching things that ancient ancestors believed should never be awakened. When modern explorers first opened those doors, they did not simply step into an ancient room. They stepped into a world of warnings, spiritual protection systems, and secrets that even today science has not fully explained. The ancient Egyptians did not believe that human existence ended when the body stopped functioning. They believed the soul was divided into several parts, and each part had to be protected to continue its journey in another realm. For that reason, the pharaohs ordered the construction of special protective mechanisms around their tombs. On the ancient stone walls, lines of text were carved deeply like messages sent to the future. Their content was not ordinary threats, but warnings about the consequences for those who disturbed sacred rest. At the beginning of the 20th century, when the tomb of Tutankhamun was opened, Western media began to speak about the warning of the pharaoh. Some members of the expedition experienced unusual accidents, unexplained illnesses, and strange coincidences. For the modern world, these could be seen as chance. But according to ancient Egyptian belief, they were signs that ancient protection systems had been activated. Egyptian tombs were not built as simple chambers. They were complex labyrinths deep underground. Massive stone doors weighing many tons were positioned with extreme precision. Winding corridors were designed to confuse intruders. Many areas were created like ancient security systems, with automatic mechanisms and hidden defensive structures. When a stone door sealed for thousands of years was finally pushed open, a wave of cold, heavy air flowed outward as if the space inside was breathing. For the first time after centuries of silence, some explorers said that at that exact moment they felt a clear change in temperature. The heat of the desert outside seemed to disappear, replaced by a damp, cold sensation running along the spine. A strange scent appeared in the air, not like soil and not like stone, but something ancient and difficult to name, as if carrying traces of an era that had vanished from the world. When flashlight beams reached deeper inside the darkness, slowly retreated, revealing carved reliefs on the walls. Egyptian deities appeared in the weak light with sharply carved eyes that seemed to watch every step of the intruders. Ancient images depicted sacred rituals, processions carrying offerings, and protective symbols placed in strategic positions. The atmosphere became so heavy that many described having to slow their breathing, as if the chamber itself was creating an invisible pressure. Some members of excavation teams said that at that moment they felt they were no longer alone in the ancient room. Even without seeing anyone, they clearly sensed a strange presence filling the space. It felt as if something was watching and waiting for the reaction of those who had crossed a forbidden boundary. For many, this was the moment they truly understood why these tombs had remained sealed for thousands of years. To prevent unwanted intrusion and protect the soul of the pharaoh, the ancient Egyptians created an entire system of complex rituals. One of the most important was known as the ritual of awakening the senses. This ceremony was performed just before the tomb was sealed. Priests touched sacred tools to statues and the body of the pharaoh, symbolizing the activation of the soul's ability to see, hear, and communicate in the afterlife. According to ancient belief, if this ritual was not performed correctly, the soul would become lost and unable to continue its eternal journey. Alongside spiritual rituals was the preparation of the eternal body. Priests used special mineral salts to dry the body, remove moisture, and prevent natural decay. The body was then wrapped in hundreds of meters of linen, each layer placed carefully in a strict order. Between the layers, they placed sacred symbols, small charms, and objects with protective meaning. Every action followed ancient rules because they believed even a small mistake could disrupt the balance between the human world and the spiritual realm. Inside the tomb, ancient amulets were placed in many strategic locations. The Eye of Horus symbolized protection and watchfulness. The sacred scarab represented rebirth and the movement of the sun. The Ankh symbolized the continuation of life and eternal energy. For the ancient Egyptians, these were not simple decorations. They were energy seals designed to maintain spiritual order and create an invisible layer of protection around the pharaoh. When all rituals were completed, the stone door was closed. The tomb entered a state of absolute silence, no light, no sound, no movement. And according to ancient belief, from that moment, the protection system was activated. Anyone who broke this silence in the future would step into a space belonging not only to the past, but also to unseen rules that modern humans still do not fully understand. Today, science offers many reasonable explanations. Air sealed for long periods may contain ancient bacteria. Mold and toxic gases can affect human health. Psychological pressure from entering dark enclosed spaces far from the outside world can also create feelings of unease. However, there are still details that raise questions, coincidences that happen at specific moments, phenomena that science has not completely explained. This leads many to believe that the ancient Egyptians may have understood energy, space, and spirituality in ways that modern humans have not yet reached. Even today, sealed tombs continue to be discovered. But each time an ancient door is opened, the world asks the same question. Is this only science, or is it the legacy of an ancient civilization that held knowledge far beyond its time? And the final question remains. If you stood before an ancient stone door, sealed for thousands of years in darkness and complete silence, would you dare to step inside?